that link maybe. Great. I don't know what just happened. It said that someone started a meeting with the same link. So then
Yeah.
it kicked all of us out.
I wonder if we kicked all the other people out.
Yeah, because I clicked the link that's in the Excel worksheet that was sent, but for vision boards, and then it said someone used the same link, Kathy.
I just got a reminder through email, and it just says click here to join. So
Okay.
click there to
Because
join.
now it doesn't have me like the, oh, never mind. I can still see the hosts and participants and everything. Okay.
I will be needing to be made a host again, though.
Yes, I will do that right now.
No problem. Okay.
Okay, perfect. They came back.
So if we don't get kicked again.
Hopefully. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah. No, our apologies. It happens though. It's like the virtual world. It's to be expected at this point. Yeah, no, just a little bit about me. I've been working with NAPAM for a couple of years, both on the receiving end and then on the like distributing end with Niagara College through my placement that I got with the OLES healthcare program. So that was really fun. And now I'm here facilitating a workshop on vision boards. So what are vision boards and what makes some of them different than others? Because there are a couple different kinds depending on what you enter your what thoughts you enter into making the board with. So in general, they're a way to visualize our goals, desires, and intentions and put them all in one spot. So it's really important that we do that because visualizing with a vision board is a way to physically output thoughts that we have up here and make it known to the universe or a higher power or just ourselves, most importantly, and our subconscious. And when we remind ourselves of our dreams consistently, it's much easier for them to become realities because you are reprogramming your brain to adhere to that. And we as humans are surprisingly it's very easy to do that for us. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I have some examples of vision boards that I just thought were cute. And I'll highlight some things. I really like the ones on this board. They put some keywords which are really important. It kind of just funnels everything that the goal of the board into words, which is nice if maybe you're somebody who resonates a little bit more with literature or words than you do with pictures. And again, using those keywords is a good, really short way of reminding ourselves of what the goal is. And I mean, you can have like literal photos. I was explaining to Becca before the workshop started. I have something similar on my own wall. And before I knew it, the photo of the bedroom that I cut out from an IKEA catalog is what my bedroom now looks like. So having photos like the one that I just pointed out there is really important to making sure that you know exactly what you want out of, I mean, if it's your workspace, if it's your bedroom. This to your left side seems like a more general desired vision board. When you look them up, there are a lot of different names and it's really hard to categorize them because they are very personal to our own desires. So I won't lean too much into being like there's this type of vision board and there's that type. I just again like to highlight what stands out to me on these particular boards. The yoga poses, I have the same thing on a board, just certain goals where maybe your life is really busy, or maybe there are just a lot of other things in the way of something as simple as I want to achieve this pose in yoga, I want to hit this certain time on my run, or I want to spend this much time with my family. There are a lot of things that can get in the way of that. So having that a photo of someone else doing it is just much easier than um, taking a photo of yourself doing it but once you have it, because we have to start somewhere. And like I said, once you put it out there, then you will become that person who can do the same thing. And I say the yoga pose just for the sake of the example. Physical items, if you really want or need a new laptop or a new set of shoes, put it on your board. Remind yourself of that and put it out there, because it will come to you in funny ways, in ways that we can't really imagine. So the best way we can imagine it for now is to just, whatever stock photo you got, doesn't have to be the exact pair, or it can if you'd like, but having something at least is going to be very beneficial to that thing, that material item coming to you. Places that you want to go, I really like that photo in particular, but anything that you want to envision yourself being, anywhere that you want to be, it will come in time. And whether it is a canal in Italy, or it's a creek in your hometown that looks exactly like whatever photo you put on your vision board or that you have hanging on your wall, that feeling will come. And that's one thing I'll address right now, is it's really important to consider that what we want usually stems from something a little deeper. And they say to go within and within. So really, really, really asking yourself, what is it that I want? So from this photo, if I were to put the photo like that serene landscape on my vision board, then I want serenity. I want that feeling of bliss. I want that feeling of peace, or maybe I want a new discovery. Which again, going back to the words, those can be really nice reminders of that's what I want, but making sure that you check your intention on putting that in, so that the creek that you find in your hometown feels just as same as the canal that you want to visit in Italy. And I'll get a little bit more into gratitude in a little bit. So where you put your vision board is key as well. This person, I really like that they have theirs in their workspace. I take it there's probably some things on the board that relate to their work. It seems like they're an artist, and that there are some maybe graphic design or visual design, fashion elements to their work. And if not, then that's okay to keep those as dreams as well. If you are someone who maybe is going to school or to become a mathematician, you want to be a math teacher, that's fine. Your vision board can look exactly like that. I've heard a quote that's like, my dreams are dreams for a reason, and I'm going to keep them there because it's so much more fun to envision myself as an Olympic athlete than it is to actually get down and train. So once they start getting down and training, they're not happy with that. They're happy with everything else that they're doing in their life. So sometimes keeping your dreams as dreams is fine too. And reminding yourself of that is perfectly fine. It keeps a really fun part of us alive and well. And if it is a vision board that you voted with a lot of intention, then it's really good to consistently be aware of that by hanging it up in the space that you look at all the time. So how to make one, it starts with you, and I broke it down into an acronym just because you really have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? So ask, like, why are you doing this? Is there a certain physical fitness goal that you have? Is there a certain work goal that you have? Is there any personal finance goal that you may have, or anything in your life that's asking for a little bit more than you think you have right now? Are there what areas of your life do you want to address? Those are really important things to consider. So if you want to save $80,000 by, I don't know, over the next 5 years, then you'll put that number down on your board. and you'll put that timeline onto your board, either with words or with numbers, or with photos, anything that calls out to you. So what is the desired outcome? Really sitting there and thinking, what do I want out of this? Okay, so I have the $80,000. What am I going to do with it now? I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to put down payment on a house, or I'm going to buy 2 vehicles, or whatever your goal is, or I'm going to pay off all my debt. What do you want out of your intention? And do you understand what it's going to take to achieve that? So taking that inspired action, challenging your ego. They say when you build a new habit and you start doing something that is different and deviates from what you normally do, then the resistance that you face is just our spirit fighting our ego. Our ego likes they're creatures of habit. They like to stay within the same means and the same bounds that we put ourselves in. But sometimes that doesn't call out to our spirit. And we have those random moments of, oh, the sun looks really pretty right now, and I really want to go outside for a walk. And I say that I do that, and that calls upon my goals of wanting to be outside more. And even though I maybe have a couple things that I need to do, and I tell myself I don't have time to go and spend 20 minutes outside, feeling that inspired action allows me to go and make that time and then come back and feel much better about doing the priorities that I still have. So be accountable, connect with your intent, and picture in your head what dreams may come to get to work. Really applying everything that you've learned is just as important as learning it. So if you place that word positivity on your board, and there are a lot of challenges to that, maybe you experience road rage, maybe your coworkers not making you too happy, or you have some family tension, really understanding that those are just another set of challenges to your new way of thinking, and that we just have to embrace it, and we have to start asking ourselves, this is something that I need to let go, or these emotions no longer serving me, and what is no longer serving me that I have to let go of. Those are really important questions to ask yourself, especially when you're considering the energy that you're putting onto a vision board. So you can make a physical board. I was working on one, literally till the minute that I started speaking, just because I thought, how unfair would it be if I didn't have a little example? And it's very small, but it I have had struggles with my skin recently. So I need to remind myself to buy some products or make some products that make my skin feel really happy. And again, with the key words and the key phrases, expand your perspective. I've kind of felt what do they say, COVID trap? I feel like there's some cabin fever going on. So I'm really looking forward to spring to bring us out of this hibernation state. Adventure, golden girl, just because I love being a woman and I feel very empowered by that. So shift, change, and some pineapples to remind me of the sweetness in life, as well as strawberries that didn't make it onto the board. So just a quick tip is always put your photos down before your words, especially the small cutouts. But so for a physical board, you're gonna want some scissors and you're gonna want some glue, and that's about it. Some canvas of some sort. I used the back of an old journal. Anything. It could have been a sheet of paper. I really like the Bristol board from the dollar store. I'll just take a piece and I'll just cut it up. So the really big boards can be intimidating. What am I going to fit on that? When you cut it up, it's oh, no problem. I can make a whole board without even thinking about it. So yeah, grab your magazines, your catalogs. I love IKEA catalogs. I love home and garden design books. They have the most beautiful imagery. Same with National Geographic, stuff like that. And then consider what calls out to you. Just if you like that photo, don't even think about it. Just cut it out. Those are little cues. The intuition from our spirit. Let your spirit kind of do the talking. And if you maybe don't feel accessible in making a physical board, then there are plenty of things that we can do online to make sure that we still have our vision boards. And once you have that, you can set it as your wallpaper. You can refer back to it if it's in your Pinterest app. You can find images on Pinterest or Tumblr. I really like as well as an active vision board. I really am mindful of what I reblog. It's because I like to visit my blog and then just remind myself of, oh yeah, this is what I want to see in my life. This is how I want to feel, or these are quotes that really mean a lot to me. And other platforms that I really like are Canva or Google Slides. Find a whole bunch of images online. That's the beauty of Google, is you can find exactly what you want and put it onto your board. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that we can make them, and there are a lot of different ways that they can look as well. And there's a lot of influence online as well. If you're like, I don't know what I want it to look like, is there a right way of doing it? No, there's no wrong way of doing it. So anything that you come up with is going to work, because it's you. It's exactly what you want, and you're in control of that. So understanding what you're not in control of is important too. We have to let go of our expectations. They say that you can't plant a seed and then continue to dig it up in order to watch it grow. You just got to trust that it's there, and this is your way of planting the seed. What's beautiful is that it's almost like an instantaneous growth, because you have it right in front of you. You're already looking at it. That's a spiritual belief, is things come in abundance when we believe that we already have it. So if I want $1 million, I really have to ask myself again, like I mentioned earlier, what do I really want? And if it's validation, I can do that. I can look in the mirror and be like, you're the most valuable person that I know. I got it. I got the same feeling as when I would have, that was what I would have had if I scratched a lotto ticket and won $1 million. Little different, but overall it does mean a lot. I am mindful of the time. So yeah, being mindful of what you put in, because again, what you put out is what you'll get. So that's where I say practice gratitude, because if you're thankful for everything that you have and everything that you're taking in, then you enter that really healthy state of flow, and things that you will be more grateful for will enter that magnetism. And one thing I will end off in, as well as affirmations, journaling, and meditation, they all have the same effect. You don't essentially need a vision board in order to achieve your goals. I think it helps, but if you're someone who maybe learns with listening to themselves speak or writing things out, then your positive affirmations and your journals are going to be your best friend in this process. And meditation is just very important in reflecting to make sure that you know how to achieve your goals with your mind first. So one quote that I like is, I am responsible for what I feel. I choose the feelings that I experience, and everything that seems to happen to me, I have asked for and have received as asked, which kind of just hopefully ties in my whole presentation. And with that, I will leave it open to some questions if we have any.
Yeah, so we have time for a couple questions. If anybody has any, you can just type them into the chat box. But to start with, so what kind of tips would you give for making your first vision board, or how often do you think they should be able to see their vision board? Where should they keep it?
It's all up to you. If you're someone who is I'll say a frequent flyer to, your journal, or if I have it in my desk and I constantly check my desk, then it's okay to keep it in there, because you'll be rummaging through it and find it. Or if you're someone who knows that they want to go rummage for it, then that's fine. If that resonates, that resonates. If you're someone that it's out of sight, out of mind, then it would be beneficial maybe to hang it up, make it decorable. And if you don't like the looks of your vision board, that's okay too. Make it look as good as you can. Work with what you got. If it's in your Pinterest, then however much you check the app is however much you're going to see those boards. So it really is up to you to determine how often you want to see it, because what works for me isn't going to work for the next person, if that makes sense.
Awesome. And what do you think is a good way for people to come up with ideas in order to make their vision board, like in order to focus on like what kind of things they would want to put on it?
Again, starting with one goal really helps. So maybe if yours is like, so mine, for instance, was like, this was like a seasonal one. So it's like, what do I want out of the spring season? I asked myself. So a little bit more fresh fruit options, some bliss, some fresh air. That one was huge. Beautiful garden. And again, like having that moisture in the air to help my skin out. So asking yourself simple questions like that, like what do I want out of the next couple of months? Or making it very specific, like if it's some sort of like, I want to change my diet, then incorporate things that would inspire you to do that. Or foods that make you feel good, and focus your board on that. So there are a couple different ways to connect with your intent. And honestly, just looking them up, like if you want to mimic what one board looks like, that's okay too. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, like I said, it really does start with us and what we want, because we are the only ones that can determine that. And there's no right or wrong way to make a vision board or to connect with your intent.
Awesome. And just one last question. So do you think someone could create a vision board to help someone who may be struggling to stay positive?
Yeah, I think there might, I would be wary about whether or not we're projecting onto other people, because again, what resonates for you might not resonate for them. And whether or not they are experiencing something where they need to learn lessons on their own is not our jurisdiction. And that's where I have a teaching that we can't impose. So if it's a collaborative thing, then yes, I would totally suggest that you do that, especially if you pitch a suggestion and they are active in wanting to participate with that. If it's more or less like, I showed up with all this stuff, let's make a vision board because like, for lack of a better term, you struggle with positivity, that can push people deeper into their negative state. So we really do have to practice that awareness around other people, be patient with them and be kind. So with the best intentions and with their permission, I would say yes, because it is a really good way to shake up your world a little bit. So it's up to them as much as it's up to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your presentation, and thank you all for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And yes, Cassie, I do believe that would work as well. I have used that method of using Pinterest as well to separate different sections. To answer that quickly before we pop off, as there's numerous other things that will be going on today as well. So enjoy the rest of your day.
That's my email.
Patience has put her email in the chat box as well. If you have any other questions, you can shoot her an email. I'm sure she would be more than happy to answer them for you. Yeah. Awesome. I will leave this open so that you guys can get the email and it doesn't close right away. And then I know you guys have another thing at 11.
Good timing. It's 11:01 now.
Yeah, so I'll probably see more of you throughout the day.
Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for coming in and chatting with me. All right. Thank you, Becca.
Yeah, no problem at all. Are you doing any of the other things throughout the weekend at all?
I want to. I finally have today off, so I looked at the agenda today and I'm really actually very interested in all of the speakers. So I think I'm just going to stay logged on and check it out.
Awesome. Well, yeah. I'll probably see you then.
Fingers crossed.
Right.
Bye. Bye for now. Nice meeting you.
Thank you.